Hey guys, it's Bina, and in today's video, I'm gonna go over my top 8 builds, because I found 8, and I had a very hard time adding the 9 or 10. I initially wanted to do 10, but yeah, too hard to decide. There's so many good builds. This is my personal tier list. We have revealed our tier list on Maxwell here for endgame, bossing, hardcore, and everything. But this is going to be my own tier list and my own subjective opinion on all of these on all of these builds that we're gonna get in season 2. So let's go straight into it without further ado. The best build of the patch, okay? Best is a big word here, like, you know, it's very, very subjective. I think the best build will be Warpath. I think it's also going to be the most popular build. It's going to be the best all-arounder build, most likely. The Warpath, the change that it got is that it is now getting a screen-wide AoE with a more multiplier of damage, increasing every second. And this is available because you have access to Devouring Orb, which auto-casts and gives you Void Essences, and then those Void Essences with a point in the passive tree will give you 30% of your mana back. So this is what Void Path looks like right now in patch 1.0. I will link all of the videos I'm showcasing here in the description below. But just imagine this, but screen-wide AoE and giga damage. Of course, it's going to be a ramp build, but I think this is going to be a fan favorite. Yeah, just amazing, amazing, amazing. One button build. I think this is going to be the best build of the patch. Next up, we have Erasing Strike Void Knight. So I think Warpath and Erasing Strike are two of the builds that are very, very similar in terms of like endgame content farming and general gameplay. Both are very fast, both have good AoE, both have good damage. So I think it was very hard for me to put one over the other, but Warpath is just completely free, one button build damage, and yeah, I think it's just like it's smoother to play basically. But I mean, this is not to laugh at either. I have a character here which I can showcase. This is my character from last patch basically, or 2 patches ago. It's a legacy character, not geared that much, but you know, somewhat okay. They made a change this patch with Erasing Strike. They are basically changing this node to be 100% more multiplier when you are dual wielding. So yeah, huge buff. They're also increasing the base damage effectiveness of Erasing Strike. So this is what you can expect from an Erasing Strike build. There are a couple of ways that you can build differently for this, for bossing, for mapping, for speed. But overall, this will feel like this. Good AoE, good damage, no mana issues because you regain a portion of your mana pool every time. So this is basically Erasing Strike. You just spam Erasing Strike, right? So that covers Erasing Strike. I think it's gonna be probably the second best build on my list. Then number 3, I have Stormcrow's Beastmaster. Stormcrow's Beastmaster, I believe, is the single most DPS that you can possibly have in the entire game, with a specific setup, obviously, with an I call this the Uber Aberrant setup, but it is with the double frozen light of the apogee of the frozen light. So the thing is with this one is that the minion deal 24% more cold and necrotic damage to shield enemies, stacks with both swords, whereas the Frozen Vengeance buff that gives you 24% more does not stack. That is one of the big reasons why it can reach such high DPS, but even without this, it would still be amazing DPS because the crows, they just have too many multipliers in their tree. They just have so many multipliers in their tree that they basically do too much damage. They also have a base multiplier on the skill itself as well. So a couple of ways you can build this. You can build this lightning, you can build this cold, you can build this tanky, less tanky, but overall I think this is the most damage in the entire game that you can possibly reach. And here we're gonna see a little bit of gameplay. This is basically just mapping. This was like a 2 days old character that I tried in the current patch. Yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing. I was too excited to like, min-max this for the next patch. I wanted to start one already and see how they felt for leveling. I do not think that you want to level with crows. I really think you want to level with something else and then swap into crows once you get the Vessel of Strife. But, you know, it is a choice that you can do. You can still level crows if you want to. One thing that is a little bit controversial about this is that the setup in the build guide that I have is based on the assumption that you are snapshotting your minions. So what is snapshotting? Snapshotting means that you equip a certain set of gear, and then you summon your companions, and then you swap out of this set for defensive stats for you, but they keep all of the stats from the set when you summon them. So this is a mechanic in Last Epoch that you know, all minions work this way pretty much. They are starting to code minions to like be able to not get snapshotted. So they did something like this with the Falcon from the Falconer, but this has been in the game forever and they have never fixed it. So we'll see. Maybe eventually. They have mentioned that they don't want this in the game eventually, but you know, it's been here for 5 years, so it is a game mechanic that you must use if you want to optimize this build. That being said, you don't have to. Like, if you don't want to snapshot, just build some minion health so that they survive a little bit more. Build some minion regen, build some minion dodge, and lose a little bit of damage. Even while not snapshotting, you will still do way more damage than any other companion build. That is 100% certain. Okay, so that pretty much covered crows. This is also going to be my personal starter for the next patch. Next, number 4, Judgment Paladin. I think this is the best hardcore build in the game. So pretty easy to showcase here. I have a little Sentinel here. It's only level 71. I started leveling this one to just, you know, get a feel for it, and I wanted to try practicing for the upcoming patch. I will just showcase how it is played a little bit here. Basically what you do is you have a generator spender kind of playstyle, and you are spamming Judgment. So you're stacking these consecrated grounds under you, and those are going to heal you. So the reason why this is so tanky is because it has a bunch of different damage reduction layers. You have 100% block chance, and you have healing stacking on top of you, which the damage from this is scaling also with healing effectiveness. So the more healing you have, the more damage you deal. So you can see how stacking defense and offense at the same time can be pretty ridiculous. So it's just going to be, you spam Judgment, and then you spam your other skill, which is going to be Vengeance, but you can start leveling with Multi-Strike. That is pretty much a playstyle. You spam Multi-Strike or Vengeance, and then you spam Judgment. So, insanely tanky. It will do a good amount of damage. The AoE is not that big. There are some nodes on the tree for a little bit more AoE. But overall, yeah, I think Judgment is going to be... You are basically immortal with this build, so long as you are under one circle of healing. And you can only imagine if you stack many of them, you are even more immortal than you already are. So, hardcore builds, Judgment, I think it's just absolutely amazing. Next up, Time Rod Void Knight. So this one is a new one. This is the new node that we've gotten in the Void Knight tree, which is very interesting, and it stacks with multiple different stats. Okay, I forgot to open it up here. Let me just go grab it here. Time Rod Void Knight. So in the passive tree, it's this node here, Rod Grip. So it has many different multipliers. It scales per slow chance, it scales per time rod chance, and per one of your lowest between attack or cast speed, right? Or throwing attack speed as well. So this node basically enables time rod builds to function, and then the way that you're going to play this is with Devouring Orb, with the Consuming node, which is going to basically consume all of your other orbs to cast 1 Giga Orb, and then you will also be able to move with all of your orbs thanks to Volta Reversal's rework, which brings all of your orbs with you. It's going to be a fan favorite, I think, because it's new mainly. It's the big return of Devouring Orb, and yeah, I think this is just going to perform very well. Has insane damage, good tankiness, you know, also a block setup. So if you want to play with the new toys that EAG has given us, Void Knight, Time Rot is the way to go. So I think this is going to be a fan favorite. Also to mention, it is new, so there might be a lot of undiscovered interactions with this as well. Lots of potential. The version that we have on Maxwell right now is already excellent, and you know, if we find some more optimizations, it's just going to be even better. So keep an eye on Time Rot. There is surely going to be some builds that do extremely well with this. ZHP Ballista, number 6. I think this is the best favorite farmer. Basically, just the classic playstyle of ZHP Ballista, which is just putting down your ballistas. They shoot for you. They auto aim. They off screen. They have an insane amount of damage, and you have Silver Shrouds to guarantee dodging any hit that would hit you. So you are infinitely tanky. You don't need to build any tankiness at all. Only damage. So, well, no, not true. You build into dodge, because when you don't have the Silver Shrouds or against many hits, you know, it's another layer of protection. But basically, you only build damage and you build dodge. Your ballistas do everything for you. Like, if you want to juice up your Weaver tree with super arenas and champions, and you don't want to see monsters around you, I think ballistas will be an insane way of doing so. Also in mapping, you can just point them at the other screen. They just shoot everything, and then when you use aerial assault or smoke bomb, they move with you. So classic playstyle, needs no introduction. I've played this to like over 4,000 corruption last patch, and it's, you know, it's gotten a nerf, significant damage nerf, but it was so strong that it's still S tier basically. Next up, we have Umbral Blades Falconer at number 7. So Umbral Blades Falconer is a build that it comes from us from Billy, from the Asian community. It is a build that was played here. This one has pushed over 10,000 corruption, so it is certified corruption pusher. This one plays very, very squishy, again with 1,000 health, sort of a similar setup to ZHP Ballista. You are basically standing in Silver Shrouds. So okay, so one thing that we need to talk about here is the Shadow Daggers, Blade Dancer, Falconers versus this build. This basically replaces Shadow Daggers because it's just plays in it. Well, it's not really the similar playstyle, but it's like all the same skills and whatnot, and it just is better overall, does more damage. There's no reason to have the Shadow Daggers if you play with all the same, well, not that there's no reason, but you play with all the same skills and you just do, like, you know, 5 times more damage. Like, who wouldn't want 5 times more damage? So it's a different setup. It can get way faster than this and way tankier. So the version that we have here is played with a bow, so you cannot use Shadow Daggers with this. But it sort of like plays in the same in the same way. So excellent build, gets pretty tanky, gets a lot of damage output, probably one of the highest damage output in the game as well at the moment. And yeah, it's just great clear, great AoE, as you saw during the footage. This can also push up to 10,000 corruption and beyond. It's like, you know, you limit, you are the only factor limiting you in how much corruption you want to push. And finally, number 8, I want to talk about Tornado. So there's a big debate. Is human or werebear Tornado better? Okay, I'm going to say both have their advantages. And let me talk about them real quick here while we watch the footage for Tornado here. So human Tornado stacks mana regen and you never transform. So it's less clunky. But the setup I have here is dual wielding and does the same damage as a werebear build with Tornado, but with a Bastion of Honor shield. So dual wielding on a human form does the same damage as using a shield on the werebear. Werebear must be tankier, right? Wrong. Human Tornado is tankier. Has access to its entire health pool as Endurance Threshold. The thing with werebear Tornado is that it has access to more invulnerability windows. Because every time you're transforming, you're casting Warcry. Every time you're casting Warcry, you get 1 second invulnerability. So where I think werebear shines is if you go dual wielding in werebear and you go a little bit squishier, like even squishier than you were with Bastion, and even squishier than human, then you can get double the DPS of human Tornado. So if you are a DPS enjoyer, I would point you towards dual wielding in werebear. And if you are if you want to be tankier and not have to transform to get your mana back and not be casting tornadoes in that time, then you might want to go human tornado, especially if you like just standing still in boss fights and tanking absolutely everything. So that's the debate. I think it's gonna be one of the best builds of the patch as well. Certainly one of my favorite that I've tried so far. Yeah, absolutely lovely build. So that covers up my predictions for the top 8 builds of the patch. This is my take on it. Don't take my word for it. Everyone can have their own list, but this is what I think. Warpath and Erasing Strike, absolutely amazing. Storm Crows if you want the absolute best DPS. Judgment Paladin, the best hardcore character. Time Rod Void Knight, it's going to be an excellent all-rounder with lots of potential for discoveries and interaction and stuff like that. ZHP Ballista, a classic, good favor farmer. Umbral Blades Falconer, excellent farmer as well, high corruption pusher. Tornado or Human Werebear, good all-rounder and very comfy to play. So that pretty much covers it. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.